On day 1, I appeared in the world of tabs. I was Iron Man, and I had my arc reactor in my chest, but all of my armor was missing. Where was my suit? And more importantly, where am I? Suddenly a loud thumping noise was coming from the forest. It was tree giants, and they were coming to attack me. There were so many of them, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have my suit, so I couldn't defend myself. So I turned tail and tried to run away. The tree giants were very big, but they were very slow, and I was able to escape. On days 2 through 5, I spent my time trying to survive. I found some tents that would make a good temporary home, and I spent my time foraging amongst the trees trying to find food. I was able to find a jug of water and a sack of apples. These would really help me survive. While I was out looking for food, I came across some raptors. I hid behind a tree so they wouldn't see me. They were real live velociraptors. This didn't make any sense. There were no raptors on Earth. Clearly, I was in a strange new world. Suddenly, the raptors caught my scent and they attacked. I had no weapons to defend myself, but I did my best. The raptors swarmed me from every angle. Things were definitely not going very well when suddenly a tribal chieftain came to my rescue. He was very strong and he fought the raptors well. And together, the tribal chieftain and I defeated all of the raptors. On days 6 through 11, I met with this tribal leader. Thank you so much for saving me. The tribal leader just looked at me with a blank expression on his face. He didn't understand a single word I was saying. I could tell by his gestures that he wanted me to follow him. So I listened to the tribal leader and together we went on an adventure. The tribal leader and I came to a land with a very tall mountain, and together we began to climb. I couldn't understand what the tribal leader was trying to tell me, but somehow I knew I could trust him. At the end of our journey, we arrived at the top of the mountain, and we were face to face with a very old-looking man. Excuse me, are you here to help? The old wizard looked at me with a blank stare on his face. He had no idea what I was saying, but suddenly he cast a magic spell.
There, young man, can you understand me now?
I could understand him. I could understand everybody. The old man introduced himself as the wise old wizard, and he told me this was the realm of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. I explained to him that I was missing my armor, and I needed it before I could go home. So the wise old wizard gave me a book to help me find my armor pieces. I opened the book, and inside it said the first piece was located in the realm of tall buildings. I thanked the wise old wizard and set off to find my armor. On days 12 through 18, I arrived in the land of tall buildings. And when I got there, I met a strange young man. He called himself Larry, and he said he lived here. I asked Larry about the missing armor pieces. I told him that a magic book told me that they would be here.
Oh yes, magic armor pieces. I actually have those in my possession.
Could I have them back maybe?
Yeah. Sure, but I need you to do something for me first.
Larry told me that some hobbits, some halflings, had taken his magic potion. It was a new recipe, and he only had the one bottle. If I got the stolen potion back for Larry, he would give me my missing armor. I thanked Larry and set off to go and find the missing potion. On days 19 through 25, I arrived in the farmer's fields. When I reached the wheat field, I heard some people talking, so I hid inside. I hid inside the tall grass and the little halflings couldn't see me. They were talking about Larry's potion. They had it in their possession and they were debating what to do with it.
We should drink the potion.
No, we should sell it. We should bury it like buried treasure.
I knew I had to get that potion from those halflings. I mean, come on, they were the size of kids. How hard could it be? I sprung out of the wheat and surprised them, and I began to fight the halflings one by one. I may not have my armor, but I knew how to defend myself. The halflings were quickly overpowered and they began to run away. I was not going to let them escape. Eventually, I cornered the hobbits and they had nowhere left to go. They agreed to give me the potion in exchange for their safety. I thought that was a better idea than beating up a bunch of kids, even if they were full-grown adults. With potion in hand, I returned to the land of tall buildings to get my armor. On days 26 through 32, I returned to the land of tall buildings, and I was here to give Larry his potion back.
Oh, thank you so much for my potion. Here's your armor just like I promised.
Finally, I had gotten back some of my armor. It was my gauntlets. It wasn't the full suit, but this was so much better than nothing. Now I could finally defend myself. Larry explained that he had put the gloves on, but nothing had happened. He thought that they were broken. So I explained to Larry about the power source on my chest. Suddenly, a massive hobbit army arrived. Give us back the potion you stole from us. I turned to Larry and asked if he wanted a demonstration of what the gauntlets could do. Larry was very curious. The battle began and the gauntlets opened fire on the halflings. I was able to use his explosive power to great effect. The hobbits were no match for my gauntlet's power. At the end of the battle, Larry was shocked.
You know what? I am glad you have those gauntlets. No, thank you.
With my gauntlets returned, I opened up the book to discover where to go next, and the magical book told me to go to the King's Realm. On days 33 through 39, I arrived in the King's Realm. But when I got there, a lonely bard was being chased by a bunch of squires.
Help! Help! They're after me! Somebody save me!
I sprung into action, using my rocks to try and defeat the squires. The squires began to attack me, but luckily, I had a lot of firepower, and I was able to defeat them. The bard told me his name was Benny, and that his kingdom was under attack. I offered to help Benny, and together we made our way to the king's kingdom. Benny and I arrived at the castle to find it overrun by pirates. The pirates opened fire on me with their guns, but I blasted them with my gauntlets. And before long, I was able to quickly defeat all the pirates. Benny thanked me for saving the kingdom. He told me that he had my boots, but the pirates had taken his favorite loot. If I would go to the pirate realm and retrieve his loot, he would give me back my boots. I was beginning to sense a trend here. I thanked Benny the Bard and set off to go and find the pirate realm. On days 40 through 48, I arrived in the pirate realm, and I was met at the entrance by a man named Captain Kyle. He explained to me that the pirate faction was having trouble with rogue pirates, and it was these rogue pirates that had Benny's banjo. Together, Captain Kyle and I stormed the enemy's ship. Captain Kyle was a very brave fighter, but the pirates were no match for my explosive power. They were sent flying high into the sky. Together, Captain Kyle and I defeated the rogue pirates. Hidden in a chest on the pirate ship, I found Benny's banjo. He was going to be very happy to have this back. On days 49 through 54, I returned to Benny the Bard, and I brought him his favorite banjo.
Oh, thank you so much. Here, you can have your boots back.
I put my boots on and began to hover off the ground once more. It felt so good to be able to fly again. Suddenly, Benny began to scream.
Help, help, a witch, the witch is flying.
Suddenly, I was surrounded by a bunch of armored knights. There was no way of escaping without a fight. Using my new boots, I blasted into the air and slammed down on Benny the Bard. And finally, using my gauntlets, I opened fire on all the knights. My boots gave me increased mobility and a new attack pattern. With a massive kick, I slammed down on the knights and defeated them. With my boots returned to me, I opened up the special magical book and looked for the next armor piece. The book spoke about an ancient faction having my armor, so I set off in search of the ancient faction. On days 55 through 59, I arrived in the ancient faction, and I found a strange creature that looked like a minotaur surrounded by ice giants. And the minotaur looked like she needed help. The ice giants turned to fight me, but I opened fire on them with my rocket gloves. It was a long and difficult fight, but the ice giants were very tough. I knew I had to run away from the ice giants to get my distance, so that I could turn around and open fire on them. Over and over I opened fire on the ice giants, but they were so durable. The ice giants slammed me with their fists, but I hit them with my gauntlets. And one by one I was able to defeat them, until finally with a massive blow I defeated the final ice giant. Minnie the Minotaur was very thankful for my help. She took one look at the armor on my hands and gasped in surprise.
I've seen armor like that before. Zeus has another piece of it, but he's off fighting ice giants.
Together, Minnie and I set off to find Zeus and my missing body armor. On days 60 through 66, Minnie and I arrived in the North Realm, and we found the powerful Zeus arguing with Helga and Bjorn. Bjorn and Helga wanted to save the ice giants, but Zeus wanted the ice giants out of his ancient realm. I approached the two factions to negotiate some peace. I could go investigate the ice giants and to see why they were attacking the ancient realm. In return, Zeus would give me back my armor.
Sure thing, boy. If you can solve the ice giant problem, I will give you back your armor.
On days 67 through 73, I arrive in the realm of the ice giants. But they were under attack by barbarians. These were Bjorn's people. Why were they attacking the ice giants? I rushed in to try and save them, and I used my gauntlets to try and defeat all the barbarians. The ice giants used their ice breath, freezing them solid. There were so many frozen barbarians, but there was plenty more where that came from. The barbarians leapt into battle over and over again, but together the ice giants and I fought back and defeated all the barbarians. Bjorn and Zeus arrive on the battlefield, and Bjorn is furious as barbarians broke the truce. The ice giants agree to leave the ancient realm alone, and Zeus is very, very happy. On days 74 through 81, we return to the ancient realm. Zeus agreed to return to me my body armor like he promised, and I felt much, much better wearing more of my armor. All I needed was my helmet and my armor would be complete. So I pulled open the ancient spellbook to look for my helmet. Zeus, however, was shocked. He stared at that book with fear in his eyes.
That book is pure evil, and there is a curse upon it. Cast it aside before it is too late.
I thanked Zeus for his advice, but I needed to find my helmet, and I trusted the wise old wizard who gave me the book. According to its pages, I had to go to the simulation realm to find my final helmet. I thanked Zeus for his help and head off for the simulation realm. On days 82 through 89, I arrived in the simulation realm. This place was massive and stretched as far as the eye could see, but suddenly it felt like I wasn't alone, and the wise old wizard appeared before me.
I have found your helmet. It is located in a large tower.
I traveled to the large tower in the simulation realm, but found it defended by undead monsters. I didn't care, because inside was my helmet. I pushed my way into the tower, attacking the necromancer that tried to kill me. A couple blasts from my gauntlets, and the skeletons were destroyed. My new armor offered me protection from all sorts of projectiles. It felt great to be nearly whole again. One by one, I destroyed all of the skeletons. But suddenly, these strange ghosts attacked me. But one thing I learned, the ghosts were not immune to rockets. And at the top of the tower, I was finally reunited with the helmet of my armor. It felt so good to be nearly complete again. Just to be sure, I consulted with the magical spellbook. But suddenly, I felt strange. My arms grew heavy and my mind went foggy. And suddenly, I heard an evil laugh from behind me.
Foolish boy! You have fallen under my powerful curse, and now you'll be used as my powerful weapon.
On days 90 through 96, I was used as a weapon. All the realm fell under my advanced scientific power. The wise old wizard made me travel everywhere, destroying everything that came before me. I had no control over my body. I was nothing more than a tool. And one by one, the armies of the totally accurate battle simulator realm had fallen. There was nothing anyone could do to stop me. In a secret part of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, the leaders met and held a meeting.
We must find a way to defeat Iron Man. But who among us is strong enough to beat him?
I know somebody that could defeat Iron Man. Together, the leaders approached the house of One Punch Man and asked for his help. Saving the world? Sure, why not? I would be glad to help. On days 97 through 99, One Punch Man meets Iron Man in the middle of the Legacy Realm. Iron Man unleashes his blasters and used his Dragon Kick to get into the air. But he was no match for the flurry of punches that came from One Punch Man, and Iron Man was knocked unconscious. When Iron Man woke up, Saitama was smiling. How do you feel, Iron Man? I feel better. Like my mind is my own. I thanked One Punch Man and set off to find the wise old wizard to get my vengeance. On day 100, I found the wise old wizard in the middle of the simulation realm. You're the wise old wizard! Why did you betray everybody? The wise old wizard began to laugh evilly, when suddenly he transformed into the evil Vulcan. Foolish boy! It was me all along. The fighting began as the evil Vulcan teleported behind me, but I was able to jump out of the way and send the evil Vulcan flying off into space. And there, among the spars, the evil Vulcan would fall for forever. I did it! I saved everybody and found my armor. Now I could go home.